Hello and welcome to Old Faithful with your host, Matt Trask. My thanks to Perfect Wave Productions, Scott and Steve down here today. Drink some coffee at Black Hills Blend. We don't have coffee on the show because of coronavirus. Make sure and vote and wear your mask and stuff. This is the first episode of year 2. I am so excited. I think the key to success is never to promise anything that you absolutely can't deliver. So I'm very proud we had a show a week for the entire last year. I'm hoping that we have a show a week for the next year, but I'm not going to guarantee that. That way I can say, I never said I did.
Here you go.
Anyway, I am so excited to have this woman on the program. If any of you have done a creative endeavor, at times you wonder, is anybody really watching this? And you were kind enough to send me a note on Instagram or something saying, hey, I love the show. Please keep it up. And I said, why don't you come be on the show?
That's right. I remember that. Yeah.
Kim Bachman, everybody. It's so nice to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Finally,
right.
It's been in the works for a while.
It has been.
What a way to open year 2.
Oh, thanks.
Go ahead and tell us about you.
Well, I'm Kimberly, and I live in Belfouche. Live out actually Fruitdale way.
Okay.
Population 64.
64.
64. We live out north of town, have a little acreage there, and my husband and I run a construction business. I'm the bookkeeper. But I often find myself out on the job site.
Sure.
Doing some lifting and standing on the dumb end of the stick and, doing whatever Mark needs me to do,
Sure.
Run errands and that sort of thing. So I often run out on the construction site and help him.
Sure.
And I also am a pastor of United Church of Christ. I outreach
I may
pastor.
not have even known that.
Yes, I am. I'm the outreach pastor there, and so my license to that church consists of the fact that I do outreach and go out and sing a lot of songs at the senior living and assisted living facilities, and I just love that. And I get out and visit people who are sick. And that sort of thing. So that's my job at the church, and I just really enjoy that. So yeah.
So now, where is this church?
It is right across from Herman Park in Belfouche.
Okay, perfect. And then you mentioned your family, which is entirely legitimate on the show. Do you and Mark, his name is Mark, right?
Yes, my husband
Do you have
Mark.
any children?
Yes, we have one son, Jake. He's our only child, and he just turned 38 2 weeks ago, and he is married to our lovely daughter-in-law, Charlie. And they live about 13 miles from us out on a farm, and they have 2 daughters, Miss Bristol and Miss Jessie. They're 9 and 11.
Perfect.
And so, yes, that's our family.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So now on to the musical portion of your life. Well, I guess you already started. You're the outreach pastor.
Yes.
So you play a lot.
Yes.
But going back maybe to your childhood, how did that all begin?
I grew up on country music. The radio was always on in our place. I grew up on a farm in north central Iowa.
Okay.
I'm the middle of 3 girls. We're all 11 months apart, and so there were no boys in our family, and we got right out there and farmed with my dad, and we spent a lot of time with the radio on in the tractors and in our house and what have you. So I love that classic country music and that classic country sound, and we walked beans in Iowa.
Oh, my.
That was before,
That's
Roundup Ready
good.
beans
Sure.
and all that sort of thing. So we would get out there on foot and walk beans and then pull the buttonweeds and the cockaburs and the burdock and that sort of thing. And so miles and miles and miles up and down bean fields every single summer. And we would save up enough money to buy our own school clothes. We were not a wealthy family at all, so we were responsible to buy our own school clothes. And one summer I had extra, and so I bought my very first guitar.
Wow.
That summer, yeah.
Now, before we get to that, and I'm so excited about that, a little note, because first of all, I feel way less sorry for myself about my childhood. If you were walking beans, as some of our viewers may not know what walking beans meant.
Right.
It meant that her and her sisters would walk the soybean rows manually, eradicating weeds.
Yes.
They pulled weeds
pull
in a
weeds.
farm field. Did you also walk any other crops?
No,
No,
just
it was just beans.
It was beans. We would walk beans, and they would detassel corn. A few miles from our place was a big corn company, and they would hire on people to come in and detassel the corn.
Right.
And we didn't have time for that really because
Oh.
we were so busy on our own farm.
Walking the beans.
Walking the beans. And
Have you written a song called Walking the Beans?
I have not.
You have not written a song called Walking the Beans?
No, but there's an idea.
One more thing before we grab this guitar behind me. I will not ask you your age, but on the country music radio stations of your youth, who were your favorite artists? Who were your influences?
Okay, well, we listened to KWMT out of Fort Dodge, Iowa, and Ralph Emery was the...
Oh, wow!
Yes, he was the DJ, and so he was syndicated, though, but we listened to Ralph Emery often, and so my influences back in those days, and still, I love Loretta Lynn, I love Merle Haggard, George Jones, Tom T. Hall, Tom T. Hall, just love Tammy Wynette and Patsy Cline, all those old classics.
All
that
the
everyone
classic
loves.
country. You said
yes.
classic country, and you weren't kidding.
Yeah.
Well, let's get on to this guitar. I don't know if it's in the shop right now. It's about to be, because Miss Bachman bought her first guitar, which you saved up money.
I saved
Beans.
Walking Beans, and went to Mason City, Iowa. And there was a music store there called the Mason City Music Store. And my dad bought a banjo, and I bought this guitar. And it was about 30 miles from our farm. And so we took one lesson, and then we ran out of time. And I think what happened was we ran out of money. You know, there's no money to run to Mason City every single week and that sort of thing. So
there wasn't time either, probably.
There was not time, no. And so Dad taught himself how to play banjo, and I taught myself how to play guitar. And it turned out that we both could play by ear pretty well. Even though I learned how to play music, or learned how to read music because I played saxophone all the way through school. Mm-hmm. And so I can read music, but I also can hear a song on the radio, and I can hardly wait to get home to figure it out.
To try it.
Yeah, to try it. So I think that's the plight of all musicians. But yeah, so went to Mason City Music, bought the guitar in seventh heaven, and I couldn't put it down. And so, yeah, so bought this little thing for $130, which, when you're 13 years old and it is the 70s, $130 was a lot of money.
Right.
A lot of money to me. So I just guarded it with my life. And the other reason I guarded it with my life was because really this was not my first guitar. I got a little red guitar for Christmas from Santa Claus when I was in 4th grade.
Sure.
And my two sisters got in a big fight. And remember those dice that you would go to the carnival and then you'd roll the thing and you get these plastic dice out of, they're like this big. Okay.
We didn't have those in South Dakota.
You didn't? Well, in Iowa, we did.
Okay.
So my sisters got in a big fight, and they were like down the hall from my bedroom, and my one sister picked up this dice and threw it at the other sister, who ducked, and it hit my guitar and cracked it all the way down.
Oh, no.
So goodbye, red guitar.
Right.
It was over, so I cried my eyes out.
Oh, my.
Saved up my money.
Right.
Bought this one.
Before we talk about this guitar, you brought something else up that piqued my interest. So your dad loads you up and goes to Mason City. Was it just you and Dad?
Yep, me and Dad.
And he was quite obviously some older than you.
Yes.
And he decided to purchase his first musical instrument at the same time?
Yes.
Did he decide on the way or when he got there?
He knew.
Or had he always wanted a banjo?
He knew he was going after a banjo.
Really?
He knew it, yeah. And so he went after a banjo and knew that I had a big interest in music. He knew I loved classic country music and what have you, so away I went, the middle daughter.
Right.
And, yeah, he got the banjo and I got the guitar.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So...
Well, and then you probably learned and grew musically together and played. Did you like the same styles of music?
Absolutely.
You did?
Yeah, we both loved
That
classic
helped.
country.
So
Oh, yes.
you'd play guitar, banjo
Together.
versions of the greatest country hits.
Every Saturday night, all the relatives would come over. And my mom would put on a big pot of goulash And the relatives would arrive, and they'd bring their instruments, and we'd all sit around the table. And you know, it was the 70s, so all my uncles smoked.
Right.
And Dad didn't smoke, but we had one ashtray.
Sure.
And we'd get that ashtray out, and everybody would smoke and have a few beers and play a whole lot of music. There were kids all over the place sitting on floors and counters, and we would just sing, and they would smoke cigarettes and have a few beers and just have a grand old time.
An Iowa guitar
It was Iowa guitar. It was
what
awesome.
town were we near in Iowa?
The closest town to us, closest big town, would have been Mason City,
Okay.
30 miles
All right.
away. Yeah.
All right.
But I'm from Clemmie, Klemme, Clemmie,
Okay.
Iowa.
Never heard of it.
Nope.
Yeah.
It's population 400.
Population 400,
Yeah.
a little bigger than Fruitdale.
A little bigger than Fruit.
Right.
Population 64.
We do need to talk about this guitar because she said she was bringing her first guitar, technically your second,
Yeah.
but not all of us are smart enough to keep our first guitar. And when I got it out of the very nice case she keeps it in, I got super excited just for the guitar in its own right. It is a Univox made in Japan, Martin copy. And it was probably worth about $130 at the time. These Martin or Japanese-made Martin copies are more and more appreciated for how well constructed they are and how good they sound. And there's getting to be less of them because sisters are throwing dice across the room.
Just killing them.
Just killing them, yeah. So we got a spruce top, we got mahogany back and sides, and probably a rosewood fretboard. I'm not going to speculate where it was made. We could throw buzzwords around, but we don't need to do that. So, did you begin your performing career with this guitar?
Let me think. Yes.
Yes?
Yes, I still had this guitar but I quickly went and bought a different guitar and played that for a number of years.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I did start playing, but I did not start playing out in public till about 5-6 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I was not aware of that, I guess.
Yes, I have been a closet musician most of my life because I was too chicken to play in front of people.
Right.
You know? And we did a lot of ranch rodeo and had a whole lot of time around campfires and that sort of thing. It would have been awesome to have the guitar out
Right.
playing around the campfires. So our friends, we moved to South Dakota 18 years ago. And our friends back in Iowa were kind of surprised when they saw me playing so much music out here. They had no idea that I played music. Yeah.
So roughly 5 years ago, you hustle off someplace and buy another guitar, and probably it was because you wanted a guitar you could amplify
Yes.
at your performance.
Yes, exactly.
So
Yeah.
there was no like little Kim, 14-year-old Kim at the county fair.
No,
or anything like that.
absolutely not.
You're ruining the show
No,
here, but
I
that's
know.
okay.
There
We'll
was
forgive
nothing
you.
like that.
Okay.
I got started
Just a
late.
long period of marrying Mark and doing the books and stuff.
Yes.
Going to rodeos without a guitar.
Farming in Iowa.
Wishing you had the bravery to sing in public.
Yes.
Yeah.
Many
okay.
times I had it in the horse trailer,
Okay.
but I was too chicken to get it out.
Oh.
So-
Well, I'm glad the horses didn't step on it.
They did not.
Yeah. Should we get on to this other guitar?
Yes. Yes.
I will take the Univox back.
Okay.
Thank you for appearing on the show, baby.
Recently bought this one.
Tell us about this.
This one I call I have already named it. I named it Free Labor. And the reason I named her Free Labor is because we own a construction business.
Sure.
And like I said earlier, I often go out and work. Well, I'm free labor.
Right.
I don't get paid. I'm
Right.
a wife, and so I don't get paid. So a couple weeks ago, I zipped into Rapid City and had a day off, zipped into Rapid City and knew darn well it was time to get a guitar that when I opened up the guitar case, it's saying, hallelujah. And it was time to invest. And so,
Sure.
yes,
It is a Gibson SJ200.
it is.
Spruce top, maple back and side. I mentioned on the show before, when you pull a Taylor out of the case, a Taylor acoustic guitar says, "I'm a musical professional. I will put on a good show. I will know my part." You pull a Warwick or a Tobias bass out, it says, I'm a professional bassist. I will play in the pocket all night. You pull one of these out, you say, this is the big show and I'm the star. Watch me right here because they're gorgeous.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
Yeah.
I loved it from the minute I saw it.
Right.
I played this one first and then I played a couple others.
Okay.
And there was no comparison.
Right.
You know, I had to go back to this one and buy this one. So the reason I call it free labor is because I did buy it and my husband didn't know it. And a couple days later, I shared with him that I had paid myself for a whole summer of labor.
Oh.
So I told Mark, this is what free labor looks like
Walk
on the
in the
construction
beans
site.
again.
Yeah.
Sure. And I think I see an LR Baggs anthem
Yes.
sticking out.
Yep.
Do you like that?
I do like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had the Fishman pickups in my other guitars, and I am so far really liking this.
Right? Was it installed already? It
was already in. Yep.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
That's what it comes with.
Yeah.
They've gotten it in acoustic guitar making. Most of the time, they used to hack a big hole in the side and put a plastic control box
Yes.
in, and
Yeah.
it did look a little wonky, and it may or may not have sacrificed some tone. But they're starting to make these cute little unobtrusive things that peek out of the sound hole.
Yeah.
And so, have we performed with this guitar?
I have. I played it up at the Homestake Opera House.
Oh.
Yes. Oh, let me take that back. No, I still had my other one.
Okay.
Where have I played with this one?
I think I know the answer to this, actually. I think you played the Buffalo Roundup with it.
Yes, it was a Buffalo. I forget where I've been. Yes, it was a
I
Buffalo
saw a
Roundup.
picture of her on Instagram.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a Buffalo Roundup. That's where I played. That's
Right.
the first time I played with it, and I just loved the sound through the sound system, and yeah,
Sure.
it's very fun. Yeah,
And you do play several other instruments.
I do.
You at one time you were in a duo, in a musical duo
Yep.
in the area,
Yep.
and now it's just you.
Yep.
So do you play some other instruments still
I
on
still
stage?
do.
Or?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I've been solo for 2 years and have really enjoyed that freedom. And I love the banjo. I picked up the banjo about 12 years ago.
Okay.
And taught myself. And it's kind of my go-to instrument now. I just love banging around on that. But I play a
Right.
4-string tenor. That 5th string messed with my mind.
Right.
And so it's a 4-string tenor, and I do a lot of flat picking on it.
Okay.
So I really enjoy that. And I play mandolin a lot, too. I really do enjoy that.
So you have a 4-string tenor banjo.
Yeah.
It probably is not from your dad.
No.
Okay.
I bought that one just a few. I've had a 4-string tenor for a while, but I bought a new one just a year ago.
Okay.
And so, so I've really enjoyed that. It's super heavy, and so
Right.
I'm thinking when I get old, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to play that thing standing up, but I love it. It just rings. and,
Right.
yeah, it's got a great tone.
Does it have amplification, or do you have to mic it?
I mic it.
You mic
Yep.
it. Okay.
Yeah. My other banjo had amplification, and it was a challenge a lot of
Right.
the times. And so I didn't go for that on this banjo and
Right.
decided to just mic it.
Well, and I was kind of angling that way. In the previous duo, you were playing so many instruments. Like, Kim would be playing the banjo, then Kim would be playing the mandolin, then she'd sit in on the didgeridoo, and it was just got to be too much plugging and unplugging. It
was a lot,
And so
yeah.
you both went to just straight miking.
Yeah.
A 57 in front of the sound hole, and they sounded incredible.
It was
you guys.
perfect. Thank
we
you.
forget how good that works.
Yeah.
It is restrictive. You have to stay in front of the microphone.
You do. Yes, you
Right.
do. Yeah.
But it sounded wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah. So
Thank you.
do we know, that reminded me, do we know where your dad's banjo is?
Yes, my dad's banjo is still with him in Iowa.
Okay.
Yeah, and he has it in the closet. He doesn't play much anymore. He's got a little touch of Parkinson's, and so
Okay.
pretty shaky. But I'm going to go back there in a few weeks. It's about 10 hours from here, the farm, and so I'm going to head back and take some recording equipment and do some recording with him.
Perfect.
I would like to get him on a CD, and so yeah, it'll be fun.
Absolutely.
Have
Do
him-
we remember what kind of banjo it is?
I do not.
You don't.
No, I don't remember what he had.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
And you have written some songs. You have some original material.
I do.
You have any like albums? How could we listen to you?
You can do a number of different ways. I have my latest CDs out. I called it Drive Fast or Dance. And so it has a lot of upbeat songs. Eric Domkowski produced that for me and did a fantastic job. It's just been so much fun. In fact, I distributed through a company, and they sent it off to Pandora Radio.
Oh,
and
wow.
it was accepted. And so
Right.
I'm on Pandora.
Awesome.
Yeah, Kimberly K Radio on Pandora, and they, they accept your music, and then they will play like-sounding artists on your station. And so I'm just thrilled when I log on to Kimberly K Radio and listen, because I'm rotating with Emmylou Harris and the Dixie Chicks, and they got Miranda Lambert was on there the other day, and they did a little
Wow.
Patty Loveless and George Jones, and then one of my songs will play,
Right.
and then it will be like Miranda Lambert, and then a few later, Emmylou Harris, and then one of my songs. I'm like, oh my gosh, doing a funk. So anyway, you can log on to Pandora Radio.
Awesome.
And listen to, listen to Kimberly K Radio station and hear my entire CD.
Right.
Otherwise, it is, I have the CD available if you want it. It's also on YouTube. CD
Okay.
Baby put it on YouTube. So
All right. And tell us your internet contact information, social media profiles.
Yep. On Facebook, it's at Kimberly K Music, and K has an E on it, Kimberly Kaye, Kimberly K Music.
Okay.
And then my website is KimberlyKBachman.com.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Do we have anything more to talk about?
I don't think so.
We might be, I don't know if they're in the shot. She's got some marvelous boots on. Occasionally, this turns into a fashion show. What kind of boots are those?
These are old gringo boots, and
Oh,
they,
wow.
Yes, they sponsor me, and so every year I get a new pair of boots, and I always choose these high ones.
Wow.
And the beauty is, if you get a hold of them, it's a wonderful partnership, because you get a hold of them, and they say choose whether they want to be a part of you or not.
Right.
And when they do, then you get to order them at half price, right?
Oh, my.
And so I love banging around in secondhand stores, and so
Right.
that's usually how I dress, is out of there. My $3 shirts, my $5 dresses, and then I wear $650 pair of boots,
So what
which
do you
is
do?
so
with,
wonderful.
what do you do with last year's pair?
They're still in my closet.
They're in
I
your
wear
closet.
them. Yeah, I wear them still.
Okay.
Because I
All
always
right.
choose these, and they've gotten to be kind of my signature. My boots, and so yeah, I always wear them.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank
well,
you.
2020's boots are looking pretty nice. I like
They're
them.
hanging in there really well.
Do you have a lot of engagements this year and the rest of the remainder of the year?
No, everything got canceled this
Sure.
year, which
Well, it did.
we knew that.
Yeah.
And I had been on the road for almost 6 years. And I
Right.
travel 8 states, and I'm gone all the time from April straight through the end of October.
Right.
And this year I was home.
Right.
And it was wonderful to be
Right.
home. And I don't know if I'll go back out on the road. I really don't. I love it. People don't know this about me, but I am so nervous on stage.
Sure.
I'm incredibly nervous. I will lose up to 6 pounds before during every performance. Oh,
Wow.
yes, like a football game, because I pace back and forth. I'm all worked up the day before, blah, blah, blah. And the whole time I'm on stage, I'm like, you can do this. You can get through it. You can get through it. And when it's all over, I would have had a good time up there, but I have to think, is that fun? I don't
Right.
know. I don't know. I get so worked
Right.
up and nervous. And my first song always stinks because I'm so nervous I can hardly hold my pick. But so I'm just kind of rethinking the whole
Sure.
road thing. I love doing videos. If you log on to my Facebook page, you'll see every day I do a little funny video and sing a little song. I love that kind
They're
of
very
stuff.
good.
Thank you.
Maybe you could start a little Branson in Fruitdale.
Yeah, there
and
we go.
people could come
There
to
we
you.
go. Yes, the
Stage
Fruitdale-
fright is very common for performers.
Oh,
But
it's
inappropriate
terrible.
question. If you lost 6 pounds before every show, how big were you before you started 6 years ago?
Oh no, it always comes back the next few
Oh,
days.
it comes back.
But I just
Okay.
get so
All right.
dehydrated and so worked up and what have you. Just like
Really?
yeah. So
Wow.
it's
Well,
pretty incredible.
Thank you for sacrificing your anxiety for our enjoyment.
You're welcome.
Since I turned this into a fashion show, I am wearing one of my 5 Wrangler chambray shirts, and I love these chambray shirts. And this time of year, you have to cherish every day you get to put one of these on,
Yes.
because chambray shirt season could be over at any time.
It really could.
And if we're talking clothing endorsements, Wrangler, I don't have one. I would take some free chambray.
Absolutely. Do it.
Oh, this has been so much fun.
Thank
You're
you.
two starting off with a bang here. I think we're going to wrap it up, and I do now have a request.
Okay.
But anyway, remember my sponsorship with Trask Hay LLC, large, round, and square bale, 515-0858. And today, Emmy Lou Harris says, change your strength. And I do. You're a pastor. If you can, I would love to hear Softly and Tenderly. Could you do that one?
You know what? I don't know the words.
You don't know the words?
Do you know the words? Do you want to sing it?
No, you just go ahead and do something else.
Do a gospel song?
Well, can you do In the Garden?
Let's see if I remember all the words.
Okay.
Gosh, let me think here. How about if I do a bluegrass gospel?
Absolutely.
Oh, let's see here. See if this is the right key. You're editing, so if it isn't, then we can. There's a place near to me where I'm longing to be with my friends at the old country church. There with my mother we went, and our Sundays were spent with our friends at the old country church. Precious years of memories. Oh, what joy they brought to me. How I long once more to be with my friends at the old country church. Will the circle be unbroken? No. They would only confess, then Jesus would bless like he did in the old country church. Precious years of memories. Oh, what joy they brought to me. How I long once more to be with my friends at the old country church. With my friends at the old country church.
Yeehaw! That's that good old country music right there.
Absolutely.
Thank you.